What is up, guys? It's Lovey back with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about the new next-gen consoles, the Xbox Series X and the new PS5, talking about all of them, breaking down what's going to be new about them and which ones you should get and which one is the best. So starting off, we're going to get right into it, starting with the PS5. So there will be two versions of the PS5, the Ps5 Digital Edition and the classic PS5. So the PS5 will be selling at $499, and it should have about 1 terabyte of storage, probably a little more since the PS4 Pro also had 1 terabyte. The PS5 should be running games at about 120 frames, which is really good, especially for a console. So that's one main thing that I really like about it. Pretty much all the games from PS4 will be able to play on PS5, so for those of you who used to have PS4 and want to play a certain game, it will definitely be available. And speaking of games, other than all the exclusives that the PS5 will have, it's going to have a bunch of exclusives. It will also have the new Spider-Man game that I'm very excited about, the Miles Morales Spider-Man game. And also speaking of the games that are coming out on the PS5 should still be available on PS4, and I'm gonna say maybe for the next year. So if you guys don't get the PS5 right away, I don't think you should be that worried, because you should still not be that limited to playing games of your choice. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys about the Ps5 Digital Edition. It's literally the same thing as the PS5, but it's $100 cheaper and it doesn't have a disc drive. So to be honest, this is really an insane deal, because when you're buying games, it's also, I think it's probably better to buy them digitally anyways, because then anywhere where you sign into your account, you can play the game and you don't have to worry about losing the disc drive. So this is an insane deal. You're saving $100 just because of a disc drive, but there will be a limited amount of the Ps5 digital editions, because it's going to be a really good deal, and I don't think Sony's going to be making a lot of them because they want people to be buying the main PS5. But if you can, I would definitely think that getting the digital edition is going to be way better than getting the normal one. Now we're going to be moving on to the two new Xboxes, the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S. For the sake of this video, I'm just going to be calling it the S and the X, just because it's a lot easier. Starting off with the Xbox Series X, or as this video will be calling it, the X, it's going to have insane graphics. It's going to be running games at 120 plus frames. It shouldn't be dropping below that, and if you have a 4K TV or monitor, which might not even be necessary, you'll be able to run games at 4K, which is the best of any console we've seen yet. So this is pretty insane, which is definitely one thing that I love about the Xbox. So yes, the Xbox Series X will have better specs and graphics than the PS5. And the X will also have around 1 terabyte, probably a little more storage, but you will be easily able on any of the next gen consoles to add more storage with a USB, because you can download games onto the USB drives now. You will probably also be able to add an SSD into the console, and I'll make a tutorial on how to do that maybe another day. Price-wise, the X will be selling for $499, so the same price as the PS5. Moving on to the S, or the Xbox Series S, it's very, I'll say, similar to the X, but here are the differences. Well, first off, the Xbox Series S, one huge weakness is that it only has 512 gigabytes of memory. So a few games and your memory is full. And to upgrade your memory, it costs another $100, and still even upgrading that, you'll get around 1 terabyte of memory, which is just as much as the X, but the X is still going to have better graphics, because I'll be breaking that down right now. So the S is going to be running games probably a few lower frames. I'll be saying at around 80 to 100 frames, which is still very good for a console, but obviously not as good as the PS5 or the X. So the S is kind of like the X, but what they're technically doing, they're making it $200 cheaper, which is great, but they are doing a major drop in storage, although I'm still happy with the graphics of the S. Now here's one really big thing that I really think is huge for the new Xboxes. Now, if you didn't know, on PS4, there's like a built-in recording and streaming system that works really well, and even I actually stream on Twitch and record some of my old videos on the PS4 because it had that system. The Xbox did not really have that, didn't have a great streaming system. You could stream to Mixer, Mixer's banned now, and it had recording, but you really couldn't record for that long. Now it looks like Xbox will be adding a real recording system, so you might not need to buy an Elgato, which really sounds great for those content creators, which I think is a really big step for Xbox to fight PS5. Well, now the finale. Which one do I buy? Okay, so I'm going to be ranking them from 4th to 1st. Coming in at number 4 is the Xbox Series S. I put this one last because it has such low storage, and although the graphics are great, the storage is going to be a huge problem. Download Warzone on that and you're pretty much full. Now, coming in at number 3 is the normal PS5. I love the PS5 and it's going to be great, but you're paying an extra $100 just for a disc drive, and that obviously explains why the Ps5 Digital Edition comes in at number 2. You're saving $100 just for a disc drive, and I don't even think the disc drive is going to be that important. And another thing I just remembered that I did not mention earlier is that the Xbox Series S does not have a disc drive either. So coming in at number 1 is the Xbox Series X. It is pretty close, I'd say, to the Ps5 Digital Edition, and since the Digital Edition is $100 cheaper, it was kind of a close call. But I'm still going to go with the X because it will be running games at 4K, 120 frames at the lowest, so you're going to be getting really nice graphics, and I think the X does win this one, not by that much, but after all, it is the best console of these 4. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll probably be making another video soon, maybe related to this topic. So if you guys enjoyed, be sure to drop a like, subscribe with noties, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.